The shield and armor's profound meaning and classifications within its system, the dual interpretation of the hepatitis A and the dual interpretations of the conditions connected to hepatitis A and the element of wood inherent in the root and stem. Thus, it is necessary to introduce the wind-avoiding shield and armor techniques while employing the 6 auspicious gods corresponding to the Jiazi cycle for renewal of the system and coordinating interactions between humanity and spirits. The hepatitis A pattern draws upon one's front aspect to further enhance one's resolve, securing the 5 elements deeply rooted in the principles of marked esteem and the protective techniques thereof forming the core mechanisms of the shield and armor. Transference theory of empty position implies a shift of series, the 6th armor not stationed at 9 attacks but allows transpositions and placements of the principal instances, forming a dynamic deduction model. This spatial transformation phenomenon in operation aligns perfectly with the essence of the Dun character's flow. Strategies hidden in military metaphors leverage the subtlety of the Qimen Dunjia approach to gather battlefield intelligence discreetly. The shield and armor restore tactical pathways that transition within the Qimen framework, demonstrating ancient military methods of yin and yang concealment. Military philosophy of infinite adaptability. This naming represents wisdom, essentially a model of militarized application of traditional tree number techniques. Threefold structure of Qimen Dunjia theory and classification systems. This tree is classified below according to different dimensions of tangible systems: annual, monthly, daily, hourly, Qimen projected models, active plate movements versus flying plate transferring applications, and numerical Qimen projections versus spell Qimen. Using numerical mechanics, the operation mechanism of the rhythmic cadence follows the core of music as inspiration, constructing a system of heaven, earth, humanity, and deity resembling the stone plate. The academic foundation comprises a 3-in-1 theory alongside the 9 functional structure, using the postnatal 8 trigrams positions as spatial coordinates, integrating the legislative system of the 24 solar terms, the imbalance between heaven and earth, forming a temporal and spatial reference frame, integrating profound 5-element theories. 3 Oaks integral model transforming astrological positions and seasonal elements into mathematically computable parameters, generating multidimensional predictive matrices through this plate and dish. This system synchronizes with 3-dimensional calculations of celestial timeliness, astrological configurations, geographical positioning, human collaboration, and the auspicious and inauspicious meanings of human affairs, forming a unique temporal and spatial all-string deduction system. The information interlacing density crowns the traditional narrative analysis of Qimen Dunjia classification techniques. Academic systems are divided into 2 systems regarding Qimen Dunjia's applicational categories. Mathematical Qimen's oak propagation system alongside spell Qimen. One is a practical system. Both together form a complete academic framework for this practice. A mathematical Qimen prediction model designed as a dominant structure based on the spiraling structure of wine stars, 8 gates, and 8 gods for computation. A rationalized application mode. Characteristics include establishing quantifiable analysis models, transforming spatiotemporal elements into computable parameters, developing systematic deduction rules to form a rigorous symbolic logic system, possessing empirical verification possibilities where predicted outcomes can be compared to real events. This system has practicality and needs to become mainstream contemporary research due to its academic nature. 2 spell techniques of Qimen. One is the practice of fusion. Taoism can be discussed alongside Qimen Doshu, incorporating elements of religious procedures like Bagong, stepping on the Zong ceremony, etc. Features include emphasizing the resonance between humans and deities, constructing standardized operation procedures, focusing on energy control, and claiming influence on reality through specific rituals related to inherited beast qualities, mostly passed down through oral traditions due to supernatural concepts. Teaching controversies within modern academic frameworks. Mathematical Qimen's secondary classification system. Substantial systems observe the national fortunes rise and fall through observational cycles. The special calculation method for Yujia Qimen Sheep Shield. The flow of inner vital energy is based on medium-range planning. Daily chess operations combined with Zhongdao selection provide a reference for daily decision-making. Precise predictions of the 10 households of Qimen to the level of the hour. Modern applications are the most widespread. Simulating the movements of celestial bodies based on operations of the strategic rotation methods within a logistical system. Emphasizing technical characteristics of temporal and spatial continuity, employing a 9-gong rotational mechanism, aligning with the traditional astronomical philosophical stance. Regarded as the core technique of orthodox inheritance, this system avoids mechanical operations. Principles correspond to the circumstances of fluctuating energy points. Technical features. Applying the 9 assault flying step principles alongside syncretic feng shui aesthetics. Innovative value development in nonlinear deductive models for the magical Qimen system integrates with substantial classification discussions. This system merges with the magical shield and Taoist rituals. Practical modes. Representative work includes the 6-sound invigorating truth scripture, Characteristics include establishing a religious canon and supernatural concepts. 2. Developing special cultivation methods. For instance, in the steps of the Steelyard 3 forms. Constructing a rigorous transmission system necessitates a strong foundation and heart-nature standards. Authenticity and sincerity are fundamental. Ethical guidelines for orderly progress. Strict adherence to gate principles and merits. Cumulatively emphasizing timing and methods in spell systems. Points of efficacy in Qimen spells due to the 3,600 methods divided into a hierarchical system, big methods as strategic versus small methods as tactical, etc. Utilizing strategies like disband the demon, where common sorcerers include spirit defense techniques and essential collection methods. Due to the hidden principles of the 6 Jia's disease prevention strategies, a complete ritual practice system formed involves the Qimen system's practical structure. Each time unit serves as a fundamental operational cycle. The legislative framework is based on the winter solstice. The annual cycle encapsulates a 360-day framework. The overall theory compiles 4,320 arrangements with a basic 1080 configurations due to higher redundancy. Yin and Yang differentiation, distributing the Yang and Yin in the 9 divisions from winter solstice to expansive understanding, allowing transitions across the 6 shifts. The 9 bureau structure in the summer solstice. The celestial plate includes dynamic configurations in acupuncture points aligned within the spatial framework of human plates and god plates. On a macro scale, establish annual Qimen models on a time scale of 60 Jiazi years. 180-year cycle. Public health begins with the upper and continues through the middle to the lower according to the operational characteristics simulating celestial left spiral laws corresponding to dynastic stars. Daily operational adjustments within the U family on the peaks of the questions. The U family special sheep shield reacts cyclically like the fluctuations of gain and loss. Integrating daily symbols with a system that aligns both the yellow and black paths, the application level lies between strategic planning and tactical execution. Detailed explanation of operational principles for period 8 within the Qimen system at 10 households. The core structure of the Qimen system is a 4-dimensional static realm with fixed parameters and 9 attacks. The dynamic heavenly plate, the star system and the 8 gates of human circulation. The auspicious and ominous representations of temporal portals, energy domain fluctuations defined by parameters of the 8 divine manifestations, with each legislative period source split every 15 days over 3 segments, equaling 5 days each cycle throughout the year. Yang Shield 540 basic units plus Yin Shield 540 units equals 1080 basic units. Yin and Yang transition nodes. Yang Shield initiated at winter solstice operates forward, while the Yin Shield initiated at summer solstice operates in reverse. The yearly Qimen system operates based on the Jiazi cyclical model within a legislative framework for 3 cycles of 60 years each, accumulating to a total of 180. Yearly large cycle of public health starting from the original Jiazi, Ken in the first palace of the original Jiazi training, and the lower Yuan Jiazi relating to the 7th palace. Special selection for arranging the board, using specific tones to reverse the 6 movements of objects aligned to the 3 breaths, locating the purple and white flying star based on the year to seek positioning for the 2 black and 9 purple stars according to the branch of Qian, used during supportive times. The legislative framework integration of the Yu family Qimen, divided into 13 legislative structures, with the upper Yuan resembling a dream year with a silver body across the 4 seas while utilizing the Qimen Ken in the central province involving years without fur. From the year onwards, the temple is to study successively with descendants. Combining Qin Su's approaches, the layout principles for the 2 black stars entering from the mid-year into 18 palace formations, orchestrating a dynamic grid synchronized with chess. Gate. Model characteristics aligning the day and night uniquely, comparing common factors of the 9 palaces as foundations with distinct features within Yin and Yang divided systems, facilitating reductions in operational configurations of 120 versus 10 plus 1080. The system of medicinal stars, including unique wine types, inverted yellow and black in 12 hours, auspicious markers for divine positions on specific days, and specialized auspicious indicators. Utilizing positional readings on the 3rd day, the shift in palace positioning combining the diurnal timing of the Yin and Yang star sequence, using it as a pivot to enter the central palace, unifying all directions. The legislative correspondence of the Yang shield at the winter solstice and the Yin shield at the summer solstice reflects the ancient techniques of the lonely imperial mind and highlights the key aspects of Qing dynasty's Siku Quanchu commentary and postulation. The secret cultural encyclopedia revered as the crystallized wisdom for choices in the East. Its historical status is grounded in a strategic forecasting system. Integrating astronomical measurements with geographical changes. Establishing a temporal and spatial parameterized analysis framework for decision-making models during the monopoly of the three dynasties. Historically regarded as a confidential secretarial and mathematical model analyzing Qimen Dunjia, constructing a unique four-dimensional analytical system with four major influencing dimensions. An entire day cyclical patron operational structure. Geographical layout of 8 crafts. 3 people decide on the 8 gates of entry and exit, operating under the principle of energy states in a system of 8 gods manifesting or hiding, the fluctuation rate of yin and yang being 18, while the basic setup revolves around the yang shield involving 9 households and corresponding rituals to solar forces. Incorporating the lunar calendar deeply into networked interactions of the 5 elements under heaven and earth. This model represents a comprehensive simulation system from the pre-scientific era, utilizing 4,320 kinds of temporal and spatial combinations in theoretical analysis, constructing a mathematical expression for a dynamic cosmic information factory. Contemporary applications transforming fake strategic decision assistances for optimal pathways in crisis management under adverse conditions, enhancing negotiation advantages and risk forecasting. Utilizing the principle of 5 not being timely with the black and yellow path system to enhance individual strategy optimization and temporal energy adjustment through adjustments in environmental contexts. Application of periodicity and interconnectedness of human biology and theoretical training across 3 mental modalities of divine gate systems on psychological suggestion. And cultural creative inspiration for a digital model simulating the conversion of 1080 movements into an algorithmic model. The design of games within the 9 palaces and 8 gates along with cinematic narratives embodying the essence of yin and yang. Worldview of mindfulness. Building dialogue between interdisciplinary potential and modern science. A complex systems theory involving multiple factors with nonlinear *** interactions, quantifying energy fields and the observer effect, and data analysis of historical cases. Pattern recognition reveals the essence of Qimen shield armor shifts towards scarcity. Reconstructing contemporary temporal and spatial mathematical models. The essence of Qimen Dunjia was a decision-making system built before the modern era. 17. Its core value lies in a comprehensive system modeling. Integrating astronomical calendars with geographical orientation, 2 dynamic deductions. Establishing a parameterized model of yin and yang fluctuations. Risk management offers temporal and spatial selection schemes to drive benefits and avoid harms. The essential elements for system construction and spatial modeling. The 4-dimensional structure of a heavenly plate corresponds to the operational cycles of spirits and the distribution of the 8 trigrams, geographical magnetic energy fields connected with human gates. Simulating path selections for social activities based on the 8 divine influences with legislative timing, cyclical seasonal divisions, and the Yangdun 9 routines at winter solstice, emulating the solar return effect. The influences of the Eagle's 9 Bureau summer solstice and heavy snow cycles impact 18 basic configurations, constructing a spatiotemporal parameter matrix. Empirical applications of universality in military history, applying ancient imperial strategic information systems to simulate battlefield environments and forecasting war opportunities as crisis management tools for the gentry class. Contemporary extensions into business negotiations, medical decision-making, and other fields. 6 critical inheritance academic zones transform theories of beauty and modernity into 3 medicines and a historical source error that constructs a phenomenon. The Emperor's creation theory lacks archaeological evidence. Contradictory documentary gaps, prior histories do not show systematic recorded functional myth discourse. Learning to ride the Qimen Dunjia, there's no need to ask, exaggerating symbolic systems and the defects of material dynamic response theory. For instance, the conflicts in G-Men every 30 miles, coinciding with birds overcoming the stove. Lack of statistical empirical foundation. Violating principles of British green deduction and disconnecting from core mathematical models. Criticism of virtual systems. The irrational components of Qimen spells, lack of verifiability when engaging in incantations and rituals. The Steelyard contradicts physical laws and presents fundamental discrepancies with mathematical deduction systems. Methodological extraction of rational core value 1. Systems theory graphics represent relations of all things in spatiotemporal expressions, using multidimensional analysis of time, geographical advantages, individuals, and hidden factors of 4-dimensionality. Cognitive grasp of complex systems for holistic understanding. Using modern transformational pathways, digitized simulations transform the 1080 arrangements into algorithmic models, the scientific extraction of environmental parameters for decision-making, and cultural semiotics for interpretation. Synchronizing temporal and spatial cognitive illustrations. Interdisciplinary research potential and dialogue with complex sciences interprets the ancient non-phenomenon with initial condition sensitivity analysis according to Eastern circular chaos theory. Insights from cognitive science highlight psychological mechanisms of spatial orientation and intuitive models for risk assessment. Cultural representations of collective unconscious, the academic zone of Qimen Dunjia and the irrational components in contemporary power systems accumulate historical changes. An urgent core issue in need of transformation. The origin construction of the phenomenon, the false creation theory lacks documentary evidence and functional myth narratives, exaggerating its all-powerful efficacy. Defects in material dynamic response theory related to symbolic systems. For instance, the conflicts in Qimen every 30 miles during the Qing dynasty lacks an empirical statistical foundation, violating British green deducing principles and breaking away from the core mathematical models. The system of forgotten memories merges with the Qimen components lacking verifiability. The steelyard violates physical laws and has essential contradictions with the mathematical deductive system. Contemporary value re-evaluation pathways for extracting the essence of rational methodologies, early attempts to model wisdom, spatiotemporal holographic structures. A multidimensional factor analysis framework, the prototype of a quantitative model for risk warning and the methodological origin of holistic thinking in the ancient authoritative environment of Eastern phenomena. Comprehensive evaluation of parameters technique. Using academic criticism to differentiate historical layering from prototype systems and subsequent additional documentary authenticity assessments. Deconstructing military power beast discourse. Empirical scientific verification establishes a historical case database and designs double-blind controlled experiments. Conducting statistical significance analysis. The dialogue of modern disciplines interlinking with complexity theory and cognitive science through complementary decision science methods provides new perspectives on cultural heritage. The museum painting has been preserved intact. Recording traditional projection processes, digitizing and developing algorithm simulation platforms for entrepreneurial applications, refining spatiotemporal aesthetic elements, building a discipline-focused research tree to classify literature.